So you want to lower your car? So you want to get low? Throughout history, people have sought that elusive, low, sleek look. The Belltech systems allow you to get down easily and safely. Belltech looks right and rides right.
I started at Belltech in early 1987.
I started with Belltech in 1989.
First time in 1998.
Started in 1998.
2007.
91.
That was 1998.
Been here just over 5 years.
For about 3.5 years.
As a kid in high school, I was actually introduced to the company.
When I started with the company, I drove a 92 Silverado, and it had a 5.7 Belltech drop kit on it.
The longer I've been here, the more I've really become attached to the brand as I see the history of the brand.
Well, who started the company was Jim Ewing and Dave Enmark. You know, they were partners already in a company called Super Bell Axle Company. And then it became Jim Farther and Dave Enmark. Small little Kwanzaa hut, like airport hangar looking thing.
Little homemade sign down there, Super Bell Axle, walked in and went, whoa. I mean, we had no catalogs. We had like 12 or 13 part numbers, something like that.
And Ewing had wind of the new truck coming out. He like jumped right on it.
The 88 full-size Chevy pickup. It's a whole new animal.
That's the day Chevy truck.
Pontiac was going to pace the Indy 500 one year, and they were going to do it with the Fiero because, you know, they try to showcase a newer vehicle. And they needed to lower this thing, and so Ewing told them, hey, give me the prints for one of those things, and I'll cast the uprights and the spindles to lower that thing if that kind of helps us get one of these pre-production trucks.
And they were willing to work with him, and he just said, yeah, he goes, if I can get one of the first ones, I'll create some.
And in the corner of the Quonset hut was like a car cover over some kind of truck. This is going to be a really big deal. And I looked at that thing and I went, wow, this is really cool. This is very different. We're already working with General Motors on an engineering level. We're going to have a full line of products ready to go. And that truck initially was like lowered 4 and 6 with our flip kit. Let's drop it down. What can we do to kind of clean up that bumper?
The roll pans, because we were producing the roll pans, the bumper covers, and that's where the growth started. So Super Bell Axle, it became Bell Super, and then they threw tech behind it because it was a whole different level.
And to me, they looked like street rods. It looked like Boyd had got a hold of them.
I can honestly say that nobody drops them like Belltech.
And then you get that traditional 6-inch flip kit with the frame notch in the back and
the billet grill and the roll pan and the bumper mask, killer wheels on the thing, and give you that California look, that sport truck look.
I would get my marching orders from Jim Morris. He's like, hey, I need you to drive over to Boyd's, go see Chip Foose. Chip Foose has a drawing of the new bumper cover we want to build. Some amazing designers available to Belltech. Guys like Tom Taylor, Steve Stanford. I dug up some of the early Belltech posters. This is the first one I got my hands on. And then to go along with this poster, I found one of Tom Taylor's sketches of the paint scheme for that truck as well.
Hi, I'm Tom Taylor, and I've been doing design work and graphics. And
Tom had come up with this crazy idea at the time. It's when computer plotters had just kind of began.
Pete Santini would do the paint work. Tom, of course, would come up with the renderings.
We were doing these shred things. We were doing these exploding things. We were doing the teals, the turquoise, the banana yellows, the pumpkin colors.
The turquoise truck, of course, became the splash truck that we did the poster off of. The yellow truck became the bubbles truck.
this truck was originally designed by Tom Taylor, an outstanding artist, and you know he really spearheaded the sport truck movement. He did a lot of graphics with Pete Santini, and those guys are the kings. Like, we were a marketing machine back then. The posters, the girls in the bikinis, and paint, Belltech, poster truck. It was just part of that era.
Our marriage with shock absorbers and doing our own development work on the valving and
the nitro drop shocks, you know, it was fairly revolutionary. Nobody was really doing that back then.
So another truck that is really the beginning of the sport truck craze from Belltech would be their 88 GMC Corvette truck.
We shipped that truck to the Arizona Proving Grounds and we put a Corvette Challenge 2-port motor in it. I mean, every cover was a Belltech truck.
SEMA then, because everybody started making things for these trucks.
You could walk in and get that Belltech look with the Boyds, the lower end kit.
And there's 24 brand new Chevy trucks with our stuff on it.
They were fully already customized, lowered wheels, graphics, and paint jobs.
We're turning on to Monroe Avenue. This is where the first hot rod shop in Stanton was at. And it just all happened right here at this shop. The first CKs were lowered here. You know, the billet wheels, I mean, it just all happened right here at this shop.
The 1989 GMC pickup that my dad chopped back in the day. And he wanted something to pull around a street rod, so the cab looked too tall when they were lowered. So he told my dad, if you chop one, I'll buy one. People call it the Belltech truck. And one thing that you notice when you see that ad is just the paint, the custom paint job on this thing. The colors on this thing, it just it does scream late 80s for sure. And it's amazing because even today on this thing, it's still just as nice as the day they painted it.
We did the Eddie truck, both as the Eddie truck down at Boyd's with the Corvette stuff on it, and then later as a giveaway through Sport Truck Magazine.
Michael Anthony's extra cab walkthrough with the shell was at Santini's and it was being painted. So that kind of got us a ticket to VIP and backstage of any of the Van Halen shows we wanted to go to.
And so yeah, we developed our whole line of low jack products to bolt on using the best bags and our onboard compressors.
And one of my favorites, of course, the orange truck, which I helped create. And then the two-wheel drive Blazer, which was definitely one of my favorites. This one was modified from a four-wheel drive and turned into a two-wheel drive.
There were people like Tim Sasamian, there were people like Gary Case at Styling Concepts with different platforms and kind of take our same basic recipe and apply that.
95 bought Suspension Techniques.
We did projects with AJ Foyt and Ford Motor Company.
We talk about Chevy trucks nonstop, but one of our #1 bestsellers is our Ford lowering kits.
The lowering of those trucks, the mini trucks, the S10.
The new body style truck came out and people knew the name and they knew they could buy our product with confidence. A lot of people were like, okay, what's the next thing that's gonna come out?